Well, good morning. Good morning. How's everybody? See if this thing fires up right. Been a little while. I might have forgot how to do this. Oh, let's see if I can find myself. Some strange times. Strange times indeed. Lots going on. It's weird when you got friends in every single state, multiple countries, and they're planting, they're doing their thing, yet it's snowing. It's it's really weird, and trying to give them tips and secrets and tricks and what have you to chase is it's kind of confusing. Ultimately, keep the soils covered. I had tried to make some arrangements with another gardener from North Carolina to come on and talk about peppers. Um, they're extremely heart healthy. Some doctors are coming out with some really interesting stuff there. Um, the capsaicin, especially. And I know my experience with my soils. Um, in my opinion, peppers are dangerous. But I'm not a gardener. I'm a soil guy. You all know that. It's about the soil. If the beginning of the system is right, everything else follows through even better. But um, if the weather holds, because you never know here. It said it was going to rain after 3 o'clock today or yesterday. I'm sorry, and yeah, no rain. So the things that I had put off because I was expecting rain never happened. So I got to get back out there and do that stuff. Garlic's looking great. Not seeing my radishes yet. I don't know if they overwintered. Um, waiting on my sunflowers. That's an experiment. I don't know. I may have wasted all the seed. Again, I'm not a gardener. I'm a soil guy. I may have jumped the gun or I may be behind the eight ball. I don't know. I don't know. I'll let Mother Nature tell me. Um, but as you know, we're pushing the book. We've done okay in the last month. Not great, but we've done okay. Um, a what do you guys? What's the podcaster got a hold of me this last week um, to do a podcast for the Florida region and others. I understand there's a pretty large following. Um, I don't know if I got the numbers correct. I'll have to double check that. Should premiere Wednesday. We'll see if I can get my hands on it. To do lifestyles. Um, we'll see if that helps the book because nothing else is moving. Um, it's interesting. Another lady released her book this last week, another edition of her book, and she's already sold 20,000 copies. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Junkyard, good morning, sir. How are you, my friend? Uh, Miss Gemma, hey, there's my sweetheart. Hope you two are doing well. Hope everybody's doing well. It's some strange times. If you don't garden, you need to. Um, a lot of truck drivers are starting to come out, farmers, truck drivers, what have you. Um, our food supply is about to be massively disrupted across the board. Fruits and vegetables, all the way up through our meats. Massive, massive, massive disruption. Um, Grocery store prices are getting ready to skyrocket. Shelves are empty. Things are getting ready to get really bad. If you don't garden, you're going to want to, because if things hold true, there's not going to be stock, and winter time is going to be excessively expensive. And with none of us working, well, that's awesome, Gemma. Are you going to publish eventually? Or are you just releasing them? You should put them all together and put together a book, dear. First cup, buddy, you're behind. This is my second or third. I think it's my third cup already. Come on, buddy. Pick it up. Pick it up. So yeah, look for a rebroadcast on Wednesday. I don't know what time. I don't have the details. We were having really bad connection with Florida, so I don't know that the audio is going to be that well on this podcast. But we had an audio engineer there working on it. What was supposed to be a simple 25-minute recording session ended up being 45 minutes because some of the stuff we had to repeat and go back over because we were just getting dead spots, internet connectivity or something. Sweetie, we need to get you with a publisher. Now okay, my brain wasn't here a while ago, so give me a second to catch up. But you need 100 pages, potentially more. So like, okay, if you go with legal size paper, you need 50 because you can put, one poem on 2 pages. But that's the count. That's the base count for Amazon. So if you've got 50 on legal size note paper or more, you've got a book, dear. We could just get you published, and put everything through. It's a simple process with what you're doing. Mine's a little bit different. My world's a little bit different. Um, Amazon seems to favor the science fiction, the fantasy books. Um, wow, junkyard. Are people trying to catch them on fire? That's what they're doing in India. They're burning the cell phone towers down. This something weird there too. I don't know if Gemma is seeing it in the UK. Um, and I didn't look at the numbers. Um, there's a list. I don't think I still have it pulled up. There's a list of cell phone towers and 5G networks. It's an active list. And it's very, very odd, very strange that um, the virus coincides with the number of networks. The more 5G networks in a region, the more reports of the virus. It's very strange. And what really cued me in was Trump come out and um, said he was putting a stop to 5G development, and not one TV station, not one newspaper, not one radio station said a word about it. Just like food for thought. He come out and said it during one of the meetings, and nobody said anything about it. It was like, okay, he said it, they're going to do it, but we're not going to talk about it because we're not allowed to or something. But it's just really odd. Good morning, Buttercup. Just really odd the way this thing is. The numbers coincide. Seriously, something. And with the food shortage getting ready to be hitting us, they're stopping farms. They're euthanizing cattle. They're stopping. They're stepping up and putting a stop to all of it. We've got a huge shortage coming. It just hasn't rippled down yet. Um, it's going to be bad, and it's going to be extremely expensive to find anything. Oh, well, thank you so much, Buttercup. Oh, yeah. Um, yeah, that's what I'm understanding, Buttercup. If you, where was it? Speedtest.net. And if you look at the top, it was the second category, I believe. And you just scroll over with your mouse, and a drop down comes in, and it says something like OOPS or OOBS or OO something 5G, and click on that, and it shows you all the active 5G networks and tower locations and what have you from around the world. And then you pull up the COVID list, and it's really scary how they're going side by side. It coincidental. Um, I'm no doctor, I'm no scientist, um, and I'm no electrical engineer. I know soil. The stuff that soil can do and do for you guys is phenomenal when you just understand a few minor things. Um, oh, massive, massive, Buttercup, massive. Um, like I said, they are ordering the euthanizing of chickens, pork, beef. They're pulling down all meat resources. They are dumping milk, and ordering the loss of. Some farmers are being smart about it and dumping it on their soils. Finally, it's covered in the book. There's a benefit to dumping milk on your soil. Yes, it. I mean, there's things, but the benefits outweigh the 3 or 4 days of smell. Um, and I understand there are things people misunderstand the guide. Buttercup, I appreciate you buying it. Please don't be thrown by the word wizard. That was my neighbors goofing around and busting my chops because I was weed king. And when I remembered history and I remembered what my grandfather had done and what my dad had done, and I started applying those principles and I started doing what they had done, unknowing what I was actually doing. Everything stopped and immediately switched, and they were like, "What the hell? Are you a wizard? Are you playing a magical flute? Uh, what are you doing? Why is everything all of a sudden so much better in your yard than mine, 40 feet away?" And um, oh, absolutely, Buttercup. As many seeds as you can get. I don't care if you don't plant them. Understand that the stuff that you have at home already and the stuff that's available locally to you for free will tremendously enhance your garden. There are things There are things in the book that will enhance Mother Nature, speed up Mother Nature, give you a right now immediate change in your yard and your garden. And we're calling that the wizardry, because yeah, Mother Nature takes her time, but there's a few tricks that you can use, and they're inexpensive household things. There's a few tricks you can use to amp up or fire up your garden and your yard right now. If you can get a hold of some of the other stuff that's suggested in the book, it'll blow your mind. You know, you don't have the time. That's the issue now. We don't have the time. With the shortages coming, there's no time to prep your yard, prep your soil, and build a garden for next year. We got to do it now. We have to avoid store-bought soils because there's chemicals in them. We've got to avoid this, avoid that, avoid so much we can do. And it's immediate effects. The stuff that I talk about is right now. This stuff that I mean, this is how Mother Nature works, and we can make a change right now in anyone's yard and flip things around. What my book does is it gives you 200-year-old knowledge. It gives you an understanding to the point you could grow indoors. You could grow on a patio, on a balcony. And because you understand these few things that I screwed up, because that's what you're getting ready to read, is my manual of mess ups, screw ups, and expensive. Oh, the NPK system is so wrong, yet so expensive. But that's how the chemical companies make their money. They convince the masses, oh my God, you have to have this. And then you apply it. And in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years time, the damage is done. Now what do? Nothing wants to grow right, and this and that, and the seeds that are available are GMO only, and they have to have the chemicals or they won't develop, they won't germinate, they won't grow. It's a mess. The whole system's a mess. I give you all the information around that. I give you tips and tricks and ways to get that soil back right now and get it started. And the great thing is that with the development of some of these scientists, we found ways to do it weed free, bug free, and really take off, where you're not spending your time chasing weeds in your garden. You're not spending your time worrying about the bugs in your yard. None of it is toxic. You can walk in it barefoot. It's incredible stuff. And that's what the guide's about. It's just a guide. You follow it, and it guides you through the understanding. When you utilize the steps, and in the end of the book, I have given an example of what I did that turned a garden around that had not been touched in years. And within a week, 2 weeks, it was exploding and teeming with life. And all the examples are right there. Good morning, Anna, or good evening, because you're a late nighter. So yeah, probably good evening. You're getting ready to go to bed. So yeah, you're. I appreciate you buying the book, Buttercup. You're in for an interesting adventure. Takes about an hour and a half to read, and you're going to have a couple of laughs at my expense, and I appreciate that. It's nobody wants to read a textbook anymore, and I didn't write one. Vermont Paint and Photos. Hey, welcome. How you been? Yeah, there's some troubles coming, and if you're not gardening and you don't understand how to garden, this guide helps. This guide gives you everything you need to know about the soil, and ways to enhance it. And you could follow me and do exactly what I did and screw the soil up and get the best weeds in town if that's what you want. If you're into, I don't know, dandelion tea and stuff, hey, I can tell you exactly how to get the best dandelions on your street. Not a problem. I've screwed my yard up. I know. I've been there, done that. I should have got an award. I had the most flowers on the street. It was incredible. Come around that corner and the bright yellow yard on the street was mine. All dandelions. Not anymore. Not that dandelions are a bad thing, but we're not trying to grow weeds. We're trying to develop healthy yards where we get the best oxygen, the least amount of chemicals, the best gardens. It's all easy. It's a walk in the park. You could, and I hate to put it this way, but you could do it from a walker. You could do it from a wheelchair. It's just having the understanding. And wow, what an incredible difference it makes when you just understand these old principles. And some things you'll have heard, other things you won't have heard, but they all work. And just like we had Earth Day 2 days ago, I was over there on Food Forest Permaculture's channel, and we were talking. And it's not that any one principle is right or any one principle is wrong, because everybody lives in a different growing zone. But when you have an understanding, that's why you come to YouTube and you want to learn something. You listen to different people's opinions on things. You don't necessarily go with just one way of gardening or one way of glazing a window or one way of fixing a car. There may be tips, tricks, and shortcuts and what have you that you're comfortable with. That's what this is all about. That's what we do on YouTube. We show you, in a lot of cases, how not to do things. I did that. And I wrote the book of how to do it right. And the great thing about my guide is, and I had to repoint that out, you don't do everything in my book every year. Like the opposite in the NPK system, the current growing system that the big box stores and the chemical companies are pushing, and a lot of the forest place, whatever, gardening places, they are all pushing this. NPK, what's your soil? Is it neutral? Is it acid? None of that matters. None of it. All of it is to sell you chemicals. Go the other direction. They want you putting chemicals down and GMOing everything in your yard every single year, and it's expensive. When you go back to nature and you start utilizing nature's way, there's no expense every year. Doesn't exist. Because as your soils begin to change, things become readily available once again that used to be there. That the NPK system, the chemical spray system, the nitrogen boosters, oh my God, let's get everything super green, and all of that goes away. You don't need that. I've got the greenest, softest yard on the street. I don't use chemicals. I don't throw nitrogen down. Your yard's better off getting a beer drink. Believe it or not, Old Stale beer is one of the best nitrogen boosters on the planet because of the hops, not the alcohol, but the hops. Old stale beer is wonderful for your yard. And of course, we all know you put a pan down, a little baking pan, like a little pie pan or something, and you put some beer in there, and there's no more slugs in your yard because they all go in there, they get sauced, and it dehydrates them, and they die. Win-win. And it's just a simple shortcut. You can turn right around, dump that pan out, all their carcasses. The beer soaks into the soil absorbs it. Any plant that's near it goes super bright green. Ta-da, win-win. But yeah, get the word out. Where was I? Ta-da, it's too early. Jadu Lifestyles. Jadu, I'm probably mispronouncing it, but we'll get it straight when we do the broadcast. I'm rebroadcasting another podcast I was invited on this last week. It's pre-recorded, so engineers trying to fix the audio tracks in it. And as you go back through my channel here, and most people don't. Chico Wiz, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. Yes, absolutely, Buttercup. You're going to find there's blank pages in the book so that you can write that recipe down. Hey, good morning, June. How are you, dear? Welcome, welcome. That you can write that recipe of yours down in the book and keep track of all of that information in one spot, one book. I've deliberately put blank pages in there for just that reason. Enjoy. I hope you enjoy the book. Let's put it that way. Most people that have read it walked away laughing and had to go back and read the book a second time to actually catch the details because they were laughing so hard. They were having such a good time reading it. It's not a normal book. There's no chapters. It's just a story. Like sitting down to drink coffee with me right here for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then you got to go back and find all the details. You got to, take notes or whatever you want to call it. Well, the book is the notes. And as you go back through my channel, you'll find updates for certain pages that are blank. You'll find details. You'll find other interviews, other channels that have shouted out the book, that have experienced it. It's radio shows I've done, other podcasts. Everything that I do around the book is here. You can go back and catch up with everything. The difference is in most of those cases, it's just listen and learn. You don't even have to watch. You could almost call this a podcast because in some cases I don't even turn the camera on. I'm just relaying information that needs to be heard. Updates, tips, tricks, ideas, what have you. Eggs, for example, eggs, Buttercup. Get those eggshells, dry them out. Don't ever throw them away. Crush them up. If you're going to plant tomatoes this year, any viney plants, any peas, what have you, they will absorb that calcium and give them stronger stalks. My tomato plants grow 19 feet long, and they're solid and strong. And the amount of tomatoes I get blow my mind. 600 pounds per 19-foot long stem. That's a lot of tomatoes. It's disgusting when I let go. Because you're supposed to top them. You're supposed to stop them. You're supposed to this. You're supposed to manicure. And it's a vine. I let it run wild. And oh my God. Grind them eggshells into the soil. A little bit of calcium never hurt any single plant out there. It's nature. If it was once living, it can go back in the soil. Avoid citrus, only because it acidifies the soil. If you've got berries or berry trees or that kind of stuff, roses love citrus. So anything in that area, you can put those down around your berry plants and what have you, and let them acidify the soils. Barbecue a lot, burn a lot of bushes and shrubs, and those ashes are an instant neutralizer while bringing in minerals. All of this is in the book, and it's simple stuff right around the home. Oh, nice. Good job, dummy. Anyhow, I was only coming on for a brief time. I don't even know how long I've been here at this point. Just to say, hey, look for the podcast next week. It's short. It's sweet. Pick up the details from other videos that I've done. There's some great stuff here. There's some drone on stuff. There's some funny stuff. There's some weird stuff because that's the book. Yeah, we've got details. Yeah, we've got some important stuff. But with everything that's going on, we need some humor. And if I'm the one that you're laughing at, that's awesome. Oh, speaking of, Annie, I'm crazy, might have some heirloom tomatoes seeds, but that's between you guys. You deal with Annie. She's had some wild stuff growing, I understand, for years, and it comes up volunteer. So you want to talk about heirloom to the extreme? This stuff runs wild on a hillside near her. Um, you guys need to hit up Annie and start tracking some stuff down and start doing some day trading and what have you. She's got some stuff going on over there. Uh, but yeah, interesting stuff getting ready to happen. If you guys, and I'm talking to people who are not in the channel right now that might listen to this later. If you don't have the book and you're starting to recognize that there are issues coming down the pike, it takes 3 to 6 months for meat stock and vegetable stock and what have you to develop and get into the marketplace. And they're right now ordering the euthanizing of chickens, pork, beef. They're dumping loads of fruits and vegetables coming into the country and burning them. There's a deliberate shortage coming. If you've been putting off buying this book, if you've been putting off opening a garden and doing for yourself and stockpiling for yourself, stop putting it off. You've run out of time. What's getting ready to happen, the food shortage that's getting ready to happen, and the expense to have any kind of foods is here and it's coming. You've got months to get something going. If you're just a stockpiler, then start stockpiling because what's coming is frightening. Very frightening. Get this book, get the understanding. When a 89-cent pack of seeds can feed your entire family of 5 an entire winter, get the book. Understand what's going on. Stop putting it off. I've been saying this for over a year, and everybody said, oh my God, you're just a conspiracy theorist. You're one of them tinfoil hat guys. You're one of those nut jobs. You're one of those. It's here. It's here. Those people that have been prepping, and I'm not, some of those guys had some really weird reasons for prepping. Okay. They're not the ones that wiped out the marketplaces. People are starting to wake up and starting to see something's wrong. We don't even know if this is the actual end game. You never know when it comes to this kind of stuff anymore. You don't know who to trust and who to listen to. All I'm saying is that if they're killing off the stock and they're killing off the meat and the cattle and all of our produce now, 3 months from now, we're screwed in the grocery stores. The massive abundance that we've gotten used to is gone. Here it comes. You've got a couple of months to deal with doing something in your yard and getting it done. You can't wait any longer. You can't keep putting it off and blaming the neighbor. You can't keep putting it off and blaming the kid. You can't keep putting it off and blaming your husband, your wife, your child. You can't. You're out of time. I don't care if you're bucket growing just to get the minerals that you need. It's wow. I can't. I've been trying to scream it for a year, and I've been trying to do it in fun ways and in soft ways and in wild ways. Um, One of you guys might have the link. If you don't, just say so. One of my moderators might have the webpage link. Um, I don't know if I've got a copy of it here, but yeah, now's the time. Understand your soil. Understand your soil conditions. Learn from my mistakes. That's the whole point of this book. That's the best place to get your hands on the book as quickly as possible. I understand. Companies like Walmart are carrying the book now. Walmart online, the .com in their books, they're carrying it. They understand. Their book marketing people understands. They've jacked the price up over what Amazon is charging. Hey, Miss JCT, welcome, welcome. This is just an understanding. I'm not teaching you how to garden. You know, when one of them idiot politicians come out and said, well, you know, it's so simple. You just stick a seed in the soil and yeah, you got a plant. You're feeding an army. Not if your soil's sick. There's a whole lot more to being a gardener and being a farmer than apparently politicians understand. And once you have the understanding and once you've laughed at my mistakes and once you understand the soil and what you're looking at and what the smells are, because a healthy soil has a smell. It's not obnoxious. It's not like, you know, not like walking around a cattle farm and stepping in wonderful aroma building, shoe destroying stuff. The earth has a smell. And when you reach into that soil and there's nothing there, and it's dried out and it crumbles under the pressure, there's a problem. Soil's not supposed to be like that. Topsoil's not that way. I give you all the tips and tricks how to get it back immediately and how to start turning it around with the least amount of labor. Because who has time for that? Like I say, you could be on a walker or in a wheelchair and still be able to do this stuff right in your house, right in your balcony, right on your porch, right in your yard. It's extremely simple when you have this understanding and you understand what's going on in the soil. The food web is the beginning of life on this planet. And here we are with the NPK system destroying it. That's what's causing the problems on the farms. That's what's causing the problems in your yard. That's why weeds are so prevalent all over the world. Because we screwed it up. The only one that's going to be able to fix it is you. Because you can't look out the window and go, magic genie, I'm going to rub my lamp and I want my yard to be perfect and I want a food forest in my front yard. Oh, pretty please, pretty please, pretty please. It's not going to work. Sorry. There's no magical genie and it hoping it's going to happen isn't going to do you any good now because we've run out of time. So yeah, I know it's hard. You can't socialize now. You can't jump on people's pages as easily as before, but yeah, catch up with everybody, catch up with each other. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down if I suck and this is terrible and you're not laughing. I understand. I get it. It's early. I don't even think the sun's up yet. It's early. But nobody else was live, and I figured, hey, why not? I got some great friends out here this time of the morning. Hell, all times of day, I'll be honest with you. But like I said, I was hoping to get another channel on. I was hoping to have made arrangements for peppers. And to have somebody come on and talk about peppers Peppers are extremely important. It turns out even the doctors are starting to look at developing people that have heart attacks. If you are out with a bunch of people and somebody has a heart attack, okay, and there's green peppers available, immediately give them green peppers. Don't don't listen to this other, give them an aspirin immediately. Oh my God, save their heart, protect them. Oh my, it turns out capsaicin, even in a small amount, like from a bell pepper, will save that heart immediately and stop any further damage from just a pepper, a bell pepper. Capsaicin turns out these guys that we call pepperheads, they're some of the heart healthiest people on the planet right now. Grow peppers, eat peppers. They're good for you. They're heart healthy. That capsaicin is extremely important. And I was hoping to have somebody on from North Carolina that grows peppers regularly, that's really into it. Because what I grew was toxic. I burnt my hand. I'm not going to advise anybody how to grow a pepper because mine were just so over the top in my soil. I won't do it again. If you're looking at gardens and you're thinking about the toxicity levels that could potentially be in that soil and you want to clean it up faster, grow sunflowers. It will pull the heavy metals out of the sunflower and neutralize them in the plant. Now, I wouldn't suggest go ahead and eating all of those seeds because I don't know what it does with those heavy metal toxins that it neutralizes, whether it leaves them in the plant itself or whether it aerates them off or whether it puts them in the seeds. I don't know. But after sunflowers have grown in a field, they cannot find any heavy metal toxins. There are plants out there that grow, just like weeds that grow, that tell you what's going on in your soils. Certain ones will pop up because the soil conditions are a certain way. And I've covered this in a couple of other videos, but sunflowers can clean your soils so you don't have to. I get it? You don't have to worry about what might be there. You can grow a sunflower and it will clean a 3x3, 4x4 square area of soil. And then you grow sunflowers in another spot and then in another spot and move them around or do whatever you want to do. Grow them all over your yard. They're beautiful. And they'll clean up the heavy metal toxins that are there. What's the old adage? Work smarter, not harder. And if all you got to do is plant a couple of sunflower seeds to clean up your entire garden or clean up your entire yard, why not? Just like growing garlic. Whatever the garlic does to the soil, because it leaves traces behind from its roots, whatever it does, it drives off fleas and ticks. So you can plant these things, let them run wild, and you'll never have fleas and ticks in your yard. No bug spray needed. And your animals are safe. I mean, even the deers and the squirrels and the what have you are smart enough that they will go rub on a garlic plant when they can find them in the wild. They'll roll around in the fields to get that garlic on them to drive off fleas and ticks because it drives them crazy. If Mother Nature has already given it to us, why aren't we utilizing it? They're a beautiful plant. You don't even have to harvest them. Once the leaves turn brown and once that seed stalk dies off, run it over with a lawnmower. Don't even worry about it. And let that thing bloom next year again because it will continue to come back just like tulips. It's a bulb plant. Plant it and forget it. Let it run wild. All it's going to do is clean your soils and clean your yard. Why not? It doesn't do anything to the worms. It doesn't hurt them. Every time I've pulled up my garlic, they're loaded with worms. I got nothing to worry about. The worms love them. Oh, I'm sure, JCT. I'm sure that there are things going on we know nothing about that's having a mass effect across the planet. And the only people that are going to fix it are us. The politicians don't care. They just want their paycheck. You want to fix your yard? You want to fix your environment? Get my book in all your neighbors' hands. Tell them there's a better way. Show them there's a better way. You can show them just in how your grass is going to change immediately upon following the guide and following the steps in the guide. All of a sudden, your neighbors are going to go, wait a minute, you're not watering and you've got green grass. What did you do? There's a book I found on Amazon. There's this nut job on YouTube that happens to know one or two things about the soil. I bought his book. It's hilarious. And look at my yard. Look at the results. There you go. All right, Buttercup. Thank you again for buying the book. Appreciate you stopping in. Listen to some of my other videos. There's a lot of supporting information for the book back there. I should probably go anyways. I'm running out of coffee, and you know the desk gremlins get kind of weird when the coffee goes away and things start to happen for no damn reason. I usually blame Cliff Madison because he disappears about this time of day, and the gremlins seem to come to my house to drink up all the coffee. It's terrible. So, hey, I appreciate everybody coming. Those of you that haven't been here before, thank you so much for stopping in. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down. Shout me out. Get the word out. There is a podcast getting ready to premiere next week. Let's get healthy, everybody. Let's start changing what we're doing, and let's start understanding Mother Nature has a better way. We've got to get away from spending money on chemicals. Alrighty, I appreciate each and every one of you. God bless. Be safe. Let's make a difference. Let's start changing. Let's get those gardens planted now. We don't have the time to wait. We're running out of food, and they're killing off all the stock. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. Appreciate you stopping by.